Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the connection between that search for meaning we're all on and the journeys we take. We're asking a really big question. How do we find our why? And, what role does travel even play in that whole discovery?
Everything really starts with this one core truth, put so well by Solo Traveler World. I mean, think about it. Friends, partners, jobs, they can come and go. But the one constant, from your very first breath to your last, is you. That relationship you have with yourself, that's the main event.
It's a huge question, isn't it? And the answer, maybe a little surprisingly, doesn't start by looking outward at all. It actually starts with looking inward and really nurturing the one relationship that everything else in your life is built on.
Okay, so let's really dig into this idea of the longest relationship. We spend so much time thinking about how to connect with other people, right? But what if the real secret to all of those connections is getting good at the one you have with yourself first? Let's get into it.
So, being great at being you, it just means treating yourself like your own best friend. It's about accepting the whole package. The big dreams, yeah, but also the cringy mistakes, the quiet little victories nobody else even sees. That self-acceptance, that's the solid ground you build everything else on.
Now, this whole idea leads us straight to a really powerful concept from philosophy that can totally reframe how you think about your purpose. Now, stick with me here, okay? It sounds kind of academic at first, but I promise, its impact on your life is, well, it's huge.
So, to put it simply, you weren't born a painter, or a leader, or an explorer. You become those things because of the choices you make and the things you do. So the main takeaway here is you're the author of your own meaning. You're not trying to find some hidden purpose, you are actively creating it day by day.
Okay, but this isn't about just ignoring reality. Existentialists have a word for all the unchangeable stuff in your life. They call it facticity. Just think of it like the hand of cards you were dealt. Where you were born, the family you have, your past experiences. It's the raw material you've got to work with.
And here is the most empowering part of this whole thing. You don't get to choose those raw materials, nope, but you have total, absolute freedom over what you build with them. Your past doesn't get to write your future. You are 100% in control of your story starting right now, from this moment on.
So how do we take this big idea and actually use it? The blog Personal Excellence has this beautifully simple but really profound exercise. The idea is to keep digging, to get past all the answers you think you're supposed to give and just uncover what really truly drives you, layer by layer. The goal here isn't to come up with some polished mission statement for your LinkedIn profile. It's about finding an answer that just hits you right in the gut, a truth that feels so deeply you that it brings a lump to your throat or, even tears to your eyes. That's when you know you've found something real. Ultimately, this whole search is just about uncovering that deep, internal pull. It's not something you invent, it's something you uncover. It's that thing that gives you energy, that gives you a sense of direction, even when the path ahead is totally foggy.
So now that we've kind of explored this internal search for our why, let's see how it's showing up out in the world, in a powerful new trend that's literally changing the reason we travel in the first place.
But let's be real for a second. In our non-stop notification pinging lives, where do you actually find the quiet space for this kind of deep thinking? For more and more people, the answer isn't trying to find an hour in their day, it's finding a week in a completely different environment.
According to a trends report from Hilton, travel is getting way more intentional. They call it a whycation. It's this shift away from just sightseeing toward journeys that have a clear why. We're moving from a checklist of places to a search for meaning.
And this chart really shows what's driving this whole trend. Just look at the top motivations: reconnection, rest and recharge, and meaningful experiences. See? These aren't about seeing landmarks. They're about feeling something. People are actively choosing travel that focuses on inner calm and connection over just checking a bunch of sites off a list.
And this isn't just a vibe or a trend. There's actual science behind how this kind of intentional travel can fundamentally change who we are.
Immersing yourself in a new culture, it's not just a fun distraction. It literally, physically rewires your brain. Just trying to figure out a new subway map or order food in a language you don't speak forces your brain off of its usual autopilot and starts creating new pathways.
This process has a name. It's called neuroplasticity. And travel is one of the best ways to fire it up. Every new sight, every unfamiliar custom, every little problem you have to solve on the road, it all forges new connections in your brain, making it more flexible, creative, and resilient.
And the research shows this rewiring leads to some pretty profound emotional growth. You learn how to handle uncertainty, you start to see the world from different points of view, and you start to challenge all those little stories you've been telling yourself about what you can and can't do.
So you don't just come back with a few souvenirs, right? You come back with a revised personal story. You've added a whole new chapter to the story of who you are, one where you're more capable, more understanding, and just more connected to the world around you.
So, what does this all mean for how we should actually go about our journeys? Well, it's really about shifting our entire mindset away from the destination and focusing on the journey itself.
This table just breaks it down perfectly. Look at the shift in focus. Mindless tourism is about taking photos, right? But mindful travel is all about making connections. It's the difference between running through a museum to get the perfect Instagram shot and slowing down enough to have an unexpected hour-long chat with a local shopkeeper. The outcome isn't a story for your friends, it's growth for you.
This classic quote from Robert Louis Stevenson just captures the whole vibe of mindful travel perfectly. The real value isn't in arriving at the destination. It's in the movement, the challenges, the unexpected moments, and just the simple act of being out in the world.
So here's the ultimate takeaway. Travel can be one of the most powerful tools we have for self-discovery, but only if we're intentional about it. The goal isn't to escape your life, it's to find it, to expand it. So as you think about your next trip, remember that your longest journey is always going to be with yourself. The question isn't just where to, it's why.